One of our speakers this weekend is also going to be our speaker today. He is, you know him, he's a boss, he's amazing. He's a legend, Mr. David Nieves. He is a black diamond. He's one of the most humble leaders I've met. He's just really nice. He's really funny, and I've really enjoyed. I've only known him for a few months, and I already feel like he's like a brother to me. So it's always a blessing to get on here and be able to introduce him and throw some love for him, give him some hearts, give him some love in the chat, and I will let you take it away, sir.
Adriel, thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing and for the contributions you're making. I can't wait to see you this weekend coming up in Dallas. We're gonna have a blast. So thank you for everything and good morning, everybody. And so happy to be here, every single one of you, and to speak to you some ideas and some thoughts for you to be able to build your business. And I was just here yesterday at my house, and we were Brooke and I, and we hosted a group of 19 leaders here in Dallas that they came by in the house, and we just had such a great time. And we were having some interesting conversations, and the conversations led around what helps build a true business, and especially in the network marketing industry, and how we can maximize this, because ultimately, yeah, we're here to do so many things, right? Impacting people's lives. We're here to sell products. But ultimately, we're here to make money as well, and that it has to be said. So let's talk about that right now. When you look at the compensation plan has two driving forces. One is called a binary, or the dual team bonus, however you want to call it. And the other thing is the unit level, which is where the reoccurring subscriptions or customers come in. So to look at this and to maximize this, you have to ask yourself several questions. When I first got started in the business, first of all, my mentor who was it was just a student of the industry, a real genius about this. He had a mind to look at things and to simplify things. And when he taught me was that the business runs around three categories. One is leadership. Number two is system. And number three is culture. He said, David, if you want to build a large organization, you're going to notice that you have to master leadership, system, and culture. Leadership, it starts with self-leadership. What leading by example, doing the things that you said you were going to do, and doing the thing that your team should be doing. So, for example, if your team duplicates you in doing the activities and your attitude, will you have, what type of business will you have? What type of business will you have if they duplicate your leadership? Number two is systems. System has to do with being able to have a replicatable result, because a system produces replicatable results. And a system like the 8 steps is in the back office. I make videos on this. You can watch it yourself. Getting started. You click on the university and then click on getting started. You can see the 8 steps of right there. That's a system. It's a system that works too, by the way. It's all about doing it and duplicating it and showing the system. But number 3 is culture. And culture has to do with what we call a there we go. Culture has to do what we know as a behavior. That's what culture is. It's an agreed behavior between all of us. It's almost a conspiracy between all of us. For example, edification. That's a conspiracy between all of us, by the way. When we go into a meeting and we're going to and we're edifying each other. First of all, edification is a great thing to do. So it's not fake, by the way. It's just a great culture to have. It's not fake because I never tell people don't never lie. By the way, don't ever lie about someone, about somebody. You can edify anybody, right? Like if let's say I see Rick in my screen right now. I don't know, Rick, what you do for a living or what you have done, but let's say that you work for FedEx for the last 30 years. Rick probably didn't work for FedEx, but let's say I can easily say, hey, Rick is an individual that knows the meaning of long-term commitment, right? What did I just do? I just edified that, didn't I? And so when I edify to my prospect, I can say, hey, Rick, I want to introduce you to Rick, Mr. Rick Sommerfeld, an incredible individual, hard worker, always showing up, and he knows what it's like to stick it to and has grit. I can't wait for you to meet him. Does that make sense? So a culture is an agreed behavior, a conspiracy between us of how we're going to behave and how we're going to do things. And so when you apply culture to the comp plan, you get rich. You make a lot of money when you apply culture to the compensation plan. And so what type of culture? Let's look at there's two driving forces for the compensation plan. And it was interesting, man. So many people don't even know this, by the way. There's diamonds don't even know this. But because you work really hard, you still make the compensation plan works, which is great. But I want you, for my 130 people that's here, to know this, to understand this. And if you can catch what I'm about to teach you right now, I believe that you can truly, you can build a big business, and in the next 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 years, you can have a business where you can walk away income, where you can take 2 months off, take a month off, and your income doesn't drop. Does that make sense? This is my vision for this call to teach you. Okay, do you guys remember? How many of you guys remember Blockbuster? You guys remember Blockbuster? First of all, how many of you guys felt a little sad when Blockbuster went away? Put a 1 in the chat if you felt a little sad when Blockbuster went away. I know I did. I felt a little sad when Blockbuster went away. Didn't we all? Because we have such memories. But Blockbuster, right? We went in there. It was a exciting thing to bring the family. You spend at least 20, 30 minutes. You gotta plan for that. Because you buy popcorn on the way out. If you're a family, everybody split, right? All the family split, and everybody got their own movie. Remember that? And we all got different movies. You guys remember? There was an experience, and it was a beautiful experience. So we have that. But what happened? What happened to Blockbuster? Netflix came in. Thank you, Rob. And Netflix changed everything, didn't it? Do you guys remember how Netflix started? Netflix started by DVDs. Remember that? Netflix started with DVDs, and then Redbox came too. But even Netflix even ate up Redbox too. But it started with DVDs, and it was a mail-in. You mail it back, and they send you something to mail it. You after you're done, you mail it back. But Netflix figured something out that everybody else started copying them. You guys remember what it was? They started subscriptions. That changed everything. Today, what happened? The Disney has a subscription, doesn't it? Paramount has a subscription. HBO Max has a subscription. Crunchyroll, which is an anime cartoon that my kids I'm subscribed to for my kids, and for me too. But the subscription change is the subscription game that changed everything. And I shared this with you because I want you to think like a multi-billion-dollar company. You have to think that every single month, As you are building your business, your subscriptions are going up. This is the difference, my friends. And what drives the unit level compensation plan is subscriptions. And so when someone gets started in your business, you got to create a subscription for them. Number one, you got to apply leadership system culture, right? You got to apply leadership. Who has to be subscribed first so you can create a subscription business, right? You. Now, I was with the other day, not the other day, but about 4 weeks ago. I was in Florida, Panama, Florida, and a friend of mine who was in my organization in a different company 14 years ago, by the way, said I saw him and we were hanging out. You know, we went on his boat and then we had a great time in Panama Beach. Afterwards, he says to me, "David, guess what? I am still subscribed on AutoShip." And I was thinking, whoa, 14 years later, I still have this individual subscribe on an AutoShip. That company, by the way, closed. It got bought out by a different company. But he's still in subscription 14 years later. So what helps create a subscription? Because you have you have to understand that when you have a many products as we do, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. It's like going to GNC. You guys remember going to GNC? What it's like? Do you remember the feeling of going to GNC? What does it feel like to go to GNC? When you look at a wall, you're like, okay, there's like 40 different vitamin C's. You're like, which one do I take? You know, methylated, unmethylated. You know, what do I do? You know, eventually you swallow your pride. You talk to the counter guy, and the counter guy oversells you 200 extra products and dollars, right? They capitalize on our ignorance. So that feeling, you have to remember, customers feel this way. So what's the solution? The solution is simplicity. You gotta make it simple. There's 4 products that I believe personally, and I think anybody that understands health and looks at our products will agree with me on this one. There's 4 products that everybody should be on AutoShip for. Number 1 is V Daily. Minerals in your water in the morning, that's essential for your body. Probiotic, prebiotic, yes please, V Daily. Number 2, Glutation Plus, tincture, glutathione, master antioxidant, removing oxidative stress within your body, removing free radicals within your body, and rogue cells that duplicate and turn into something really nasty that we all know. Number 3, nitro. Nitric oxide defends and protects every cell in your body. It helps circulation, it helps oxygenate your body. And number 4, the last product, omegas. That brings, it helps you with cholesterol. It helps you, it's like an oil change within your arteries. Those 4 products, I believe that everybody should be on AutoShip with those products. And keep it simple. Keep it really simple. You see, as your business is growing, if you have, let's say you have had over the last, let's say you're 6 months with us or a year with us. I don't know how long you've been with us, but let's just say you've been with us a year. And let's say that around 300 people have entered your business. If 300 people have entered your business, you should have a minimum of 150 subscription. The product that we have is that good. Can we agree that we have great products here? So why wouldn't someone stay on our products? The only reason is because you never created a culture. You never created a culture of AutoShip subscriptions the moment people sign up. That's what happened. So every year, if you're if you're growing every year and you're building a business, and this business has explosions, right? Where you go like this, you plateau, and then because you keep working the business, it has an explosion. And during that explosion, your business grows to 100, 200, 300, 400 people. That should be a minimum of 50%. 400 people, that's 200 subscriptions that happen during that season that stay within your business every single month. I want you thinking like Netflix, my friends. I want you to think in subscriptions business, a subscription business of products every single month happening in your organization. This is the driving force of the unit level. I'm going to come back to the unit level, but let's go to the binary now. Binary is weekly paychecks, isn't it? It's right now money. It's a weekly paycheck system. And it's wonderful to have a binary. But what culture drives the binary? What culture? The culture is launching your business. The launching culture. Because when you launch someone, what happens? A new packs are being promoted and a new person gets started in the business. Every time you have a launching culture, someone gets started, in the next first 24, 48 hours, you have a new business partner. Now it's time to create a launch where you launch them into action. You take, hey, let's get in contact with your top 10 people that you're thinking about share this business. Let's get some three-way calls. Let's get some things. Let's get your business launched. And part of launching that business is getting that person to subscription, getting them signed up for those 4 products for 30 days later. And that's part of launching. But the culture of launching will give you that weekly paycheck. However, in this business, you don't have momentum all the time. It just doesn't happen. I mean, there's no business that's always in momentum. Doesn't exist. So as you're building your business and you build some momentum and you acquire some momentum and you're launching people and your binary pages are paying, your subscriptions in the back end are growing. When the season, because everything is seasonal. Now, all businesses are seasonal, by the way. That's just the way it is. There's a great book called The Dip, by the way, in entrepreneurship. The book The Dip, I don't know if anybody read that book before, but it talks about the phenomenon in business of growth, the dip, and stabilization. So the growth, you have a dip, there's a dip that happened, and then you stabilize. But the growth, and when you have the dip, is never lower than when you started. You follow me? And when you stabilize, what happens when you do the things that you're supposed to do and you keep working the business, prospecting, filling up your pipeline, personal pipeline, and working in depth in your organization, what happens again? You have another growth. It happens. And then you have another dip. And then you stabilize. But that stabilization is higher than when you were before, than the last dip you had. Does that make sense? What I'm talking about? That's business. And what it requires emotional intelligence to understand this. That this is business. And I don't know whether you are in the growth right now in your business. Actually, some of you are. You talk to Eric Eve right now. He's like, he went from silver to diamond to double diamond. And I mean, that's a growth, right? That happens. And it's great. But whether you're in the dip or you're stabilized and you're like, okay, I'm my business is very, very stable. I don't know where you're at. But I want you to have the emotional intelligence to know that is business. That's how it works. And as you have that emotional intelligence, you know how to work the compensation plan and the culture that drives each of the sides of the compensation plan. So you're here in the binary, you're launching people, you're doing presentations, you're personally recruiting, and you're creating weekly paychecks for yourself in the binary. What happens every time you launch someone? You're creating a subscription 30 days later with those four products that I mentioned, which is Nitro, Glutation Plus, V Daily, and Omegas. That'll give them over 100 points in value, by the way. Over 100 points in value they'll have with those four products. Now, as you're signing people up and people are joining you, more distribution and creating subscriptions on the other end are growing and growing. When you have your dip, and your business always has a dip, that's just the way it is. Your emotional intelligence, you know this. You remember, I remember what Nieves said. Nieves told me about this. It's cool. It's good. But then you look at the other side of your business and you see a subscriptions that are stable, and there are people that are happy, lives are being impacted, and your business is stable. When you have a weekly paycheck might have gone down for a little bit for the moment because it's a season, but your residual in the subscription once a month wrecks the bank. And then in the meantime, you know what to do. You know what to do already by this time of how to you start working on your weekly paycheck. Start doing the activity. Start doing the daily method of operations. Start working the daily method of operations that increases your weekly paycheck. But you're not stressed. In fact, you're cool. You're cool because you have a subscription model business that is funding and paying all your bills and your lifestyle every single month, while you're still building your weekly paychecks and finding momentum again and again and again and again. All momentum has a lifespan. Now, I hope this is not too advanced for the new people that are here. My goal for you guys, especially if you're brand new, your goal is just to really launch your business. Launch, go get your subscription on, because you cannot duplicate what you're not doing. Does that make sense? You cannot duplicate what you're not doing. It's not possible. You can only duplicate what you do. And when people ask you, how do I do a subscription? If you don't know how, if you it's obvious that you don't know how to do it because you've never done it for yourself. So when you do it for yourself, you're like, okay, let me guide you how to create your own subscription so you can build your a long-term residual business. I want every single one of you guys to have a business that is growing every single year, growing in the subscription model every single year. As you are recruiting, because recruiting, again, not only does a dip happen within all businesses, that's just the nature of business. And the book explains that beautifully. Looking on all industries and all companies, it was like unrefutable. Like the guy gives you like massive data, looking at all industries and all companies. When that happens, you're not stressing because you built a subscription model business that as you are building a business, as you are building the business, every single month your subscriptions for your auto ship is growing, and it's only going to get better, guys. We're going to have more and more products that are coming out that just make sense, right? Will make sense for everybody to really have and to be able to utilize and to maximize their health. And we're gonna be that beacon of hope for so many people in people's lives. What's coming down the pipeline, my friends, is just amazing. It's incredible. I mean, having the ability to have a ecosystem that tracks your entire body and on a weekly, daily, almost 24 hours basis, almost, where you'll be able to see what's really happening in real time, and be able to even change your subscriptions even in real time based on what your body needs. You see, but ultimately, those four products should be the staple of your body. Everything you need will be within those 4 products. Create that, and then we'll say, well, what, David? What about collagen? What about Nourish? What about, well, all that is just extra, my friends. All that is extra. It really is. What your body needs is within the simplicity of those 4 products that I've just mentioned, and what your customers need is within the simplicity of those 4 products. Do we have other stuff for discomfort? Yes. Do we have other things for blood sugar levels? Of course. Do we have other things that help you with so many things? Absolutely. But ultimately, we want to be able to create simplicity, because simplicity is what duplicates. And simplicity is why people was going to stay 14 years later. People will stay on the subscription that you created for them. The one thing I can tell you, and the reason that guy stayed 14 years later in that product line that I referred to, it was only 3 products. The entire company was only 3 products. Why did we grow to $500 million in sales a year with 3 products? Because it was simple and it worked. The products work, and simplicity duplicates. So my friends, go out there, and I hope you have a better understanding, first of all, of the compensation plan. I hope you better understanding of what drives your weekly paychecks, launching your business, and creating a culture of launching people. So you say, well, David, my weekly paycheck is low. Well, let's first of all, let's recruit some people, and let's create the culture of launching people, and your weekly paychecks will go up. But David, my monthly residual is low. Well, let's create a culture of subscriptions within your business, and let's watch that residual and that monthly paycheck go up. Does that make sense, guys? Leadership, system, and culture. Let's create a culture, my guys, my friends. Thank you very much for being here, and I love every single one of you. I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Adriel. Adriel, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to this. You want
Great word, great word. If you love this, stick around and come back later tonight and see Sir David Nieves on Discover Vital tonight. And then don't forget that you can come hang out with us this weekend as well on Vital Connect. So let's open up the lines, give some love to Mr. David Nieves, and make him feel loved this Thursday morning.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much,
Hey,
David.
thank you,
Thank you
David.
so
That was a
much.
great
Thank
call.
you, David.
Learned a lot
Thank
Such a
you,
about
great
you
Adriel.
call.
all.
I
I
Have
appreciate
a
much
you.
love.
blessed day.
So much
Thank you,
appreciation,
David.
Thank you,
gratitude.
And to
David.
have that
So
residual
Thank you,
on
David.
that,
David,
gratitude.
that's
words.
so much, David.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Have a
David.
blessed
David.
day,
Have a blessed
everybody.
day, everyone.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Thank
So
you,
much
David.
gratitude.
Everybody have a blessed
Really.
day.
Thank you, David. Phenomenal call.
I've
Thank
never
you,
had a
guys.
better team of leaders in my entire career, and this is amazing. It
Yeah,
really
we've got
is.
a great leadership
You're
team here.
amazing, Sabrina.
Incredible. All right. Take care, guys.
We love
Bye,
y'all.
you guys. We'll see you tomorrow
Blessings,
See
morning.
you.
everybody. Thank you,
Thank
David. Thank you,
you.
Adriel.